Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It's Sunday night, and you know what that means? It means it's Moose Racing League, and tonight I am going to be calling the action around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for tier number 2. The tier that always delivers when it comes to racing, racecraft, and of course incredible results. Let's just mute everybody in the party so that we don't get any forced feedback. I hope you're all really well. Welcome in, everybody. 7 of you in right now. Minico is in the house. Good evening to you, Minico. And let's go Pacers tonight later on, of course, in Game 7 of those NBA Finals. But before we get there, we've got a couple of races to go. I've just seen a wet to dry race in tier number 3, which Angry Shadow in the Kick Sauber has driven like a champion and been 17 seconds out in front and won the first opening race of season 14 in tier 3. We are, of course, on the opening weekend. It is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. And I think what we should do, before we get going tonight, we should take a look at that calendar. Let's bring it up, see what we've got in store for us over the course of the next 12 weeks here in tier 2. So yes, we start out... if it's wet, I quit, says Grant. We start out, of course, tonight in Canada for round number 1. Round 2, we then head back over the Atlantic Ocean to Austria and Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. Back across again. We're not taking care of our fuel and sustainability here. It's back over to COTA for round 3 on July the 13th. And then in July the 20th, it is Miami. Belgium it is, back over in Europe for round number 5 as we tackle Spa-Francorchamps. And then a little dart over towards Hungary for the Hungaroring, round number 6, and that denotes 50% of this season 14 on August the 3rd. We'll then dip back over the Atlantic and we'll head off to Mexico for round number 7 on August the 10th, with the 17th being Vegas. And then, of course, we've got a couple of European tracks. Monaco. You either love it or hate it. Round number 9 in Monaco, then Monza in round 10. At September the 7th, we're then back over into China, our only Asian track on this season 14 calendar, before we wrap the season up on September the 21st at Zandvoort. So there you go. That's this season calendar. Now, let me tell you a couple of little things we've got going on here in tier number 2 in this season 14. We have 7, you heard that right, 7 previous world champions. But none of those world champions, none of those 7 drivers have won more than one world title. So there'll be at least 7 drivers out here trying to get their second world title here in season number 14. Across the field in the seats, the guys that were drafted, we've got over 5,000 championship points, 768 completed races. And when I look at there's nobody in the 100 race club here, but we do have City of Art on 91 races and Gamer on 93 races that can get, and Happy Like Pies on 94 races that can get themselves into that 100 race club. So 768 races. There's a good mix of experience, and we've got a couple of new drivers in Harvey and Captain Redbeard. I don't think Harvey's in tonight. I'll have to double check as we go along. Wins. There's been a lot of wins in this tier as well. 65 wins out of those 768 races, with 164 podiums sat in this field. And another interesting little fact is that, yes, penalty points are a thing. So across the drivers that we've got in those full-time seats tonight here in tier number 2, they've accumulated 172 penalty points. Will we see more penalty points tonight? That is the question. Of course, that 65 race wins will become 66 tonight, and the 164 podiums will become 167. We've got a couple of reserves in tonight. I think we've got Freddie Rizal in the Ferrari. Freddie Rizal brings himself, he brings 6 wins to the table. He also brings 25 penalty points. We'll definitely note that one for you, Freddie. And then, of course, we've got Jay's F1. He will be reserving tonight in the Williams, and he also brings a win to the table. So in total there, we've got a good 72 race wins across this field. The last time we raced in Canada, by the way, was way back in February 2024 here in Tier 2. And one of the guys who's in here tonight won that race. It was a wet race, Season 10, round number 4, and it was Dreams. He won in the McLaren in a time of 53 minutes and 7 seconds. Second on that occasion was Simon Colston, and then third it was Yellow Snowman. So 53 minutes for a wet race. That is what we are looking at. Probably the most chaotic calendar. Drix, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing real well. We've got 16 drivers in right now, so it won't be long until we enter this short qualification session, followed by 35 laps of high-octane racing around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Let's take a quick look at the track map, shall we? Just to familiarise ourselves and remind ourselves, 4.3 kilometres, 2.7 miles, and 14 turns. We do have ourselves 3 DRS zones all the way down that long straight, of course, and then after the final chicane, the Wall of Champions, if it doesn't claim you, you'll get another DRS zone from turn 14 all the way down to turn number 1. Not a huge amount of elevation in this track in Canada, but certainly plenty of opportunity to utilise battery management. Tyre management may well be a problem. We're still in the learning phase of this game, of course. The real elevation is between turns 1 and 4 as you go back down the hill into turn 5. That quite quick right-hander before you take the left. As you then begin to wander yourself down towards the hairpin at turn number 10, I believe. So we are not too far away. We are not too far away from the start of this Season 14, the inaugural race in this Tier 2 calendar. We've had a wet race, of course, in Tier 3. Let's hope... well, what do you think? What do you want in chat there? Do you want this to be a dry race all the way through so we can get a real judge of people's pace and caliber here in this opening round? Or do you fancy a little bit of changing conditions? Hopefully not too much changing conditions, because I've also got to commentate in Tier 1 tonight as well. And I don't want to be rushing around. Eruptions wanting some snow. We'll see what we can do. Canada brings a multitude of different weather conditions. Eruption. Maybe we'll see a flurry or two of snow. Wouldn't that be a thing, by the way? Have you ever seen snow in a Formula 1 race? I don't think I have. But surely surely there should be an eruption of the white stuff. Who knows? And the less said about that, the better, by the way. Yes, Drix, let's go. The Pacers will be tackling the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course, in Oklahoma City in Game 7 of the NBA Finals tonight in a few hours' time, and I'm here for it. Let's go Pacers. Can the Pacers get their first ever national title after they fell at the same hurdle, of course, 25 years ago under the stewardship of Reggie Miller? Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton is holding that torch and that candle. But ladies and gentlemen, enough about basketball, enough about any other kind of sport, because we're here for it. We're in Canada. It's Montreal. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. Let's get ourselves trackside then as we head into this, a short qualifying session. Of course, we always have to deactivate and reactivate the capture card because that's just how life works. Pacers Day, baby. Let's go, Cobb K. I hope you're doing pretty well, my friend. We'll have a look through the drivers. I've not run through any driver lists tonight. I just wanted to wait to see who's in and who's reserving for the evening. So once we get onto the main screen, we will have a look to see who we've got in the lobby. 20 seconds to go then until the qualification session starts. What do we want then? Do we want, apart from the snow that Eruption wants, what are we looking for in terms of the weather? What are our early season projections and predictions as to who's going to do well in tier number 2? How is Gamer tier 2, says Drix. Are we serious? It's looking that way, my friend. And it is Gamer in P1 initially on the start. Beautiful blue, bright skies. Sunshine is out in the qualification session. 18 minutes, of course. If you're new to Formula 1, it is an 18-minute short qualification session here at Moose Racing League. Don't forget to like this stream, guys. Hit that little thumb. And, of course, if you're brand new here, hit that subscribe button. It's all free when it comes to supporting. And I'd love to be able to see you guys get yourselves in and about it. So we do have, it looks like a McLaren making its way down the pit lane. So who's that going to be? Is that going to be Gabop? It is not. It's going to be Ardell. Ardell's going to be the first car out on track tonight. So let's just run through real quick. Got Gamer, obviously the Kick Sauber, then the Haas of Alex Carew. Freddie Rozelle reserving into that Ferrari, as we said earlier. We've got D-Master OG. He is a... D-Master OG is a 54 race veteran here. 55 now in Moose Racing League. Gabop, we've got Jays reserving in the Williams with Dreams. The last time we drove here, we have mentioned it before, Dreams did win in a McLaren that time. Tonight, sitting in the Haas. Golden Drift in the Alpine. We've then got Daimyo in the Aston Martin. Ardell in the McLaren. City of R, the second Williams with J-Joe in that V-Carb. Sheldon Humphrey, a.k.a. Happy Like Pies, in the Aston Martin, with Harv in the Mercedes. Gwenfro, the well-known Gwenfro, one of our world champions, of course, in prior years, in the Kick Sauber with PNW Bum, or I'm a Bum, in the V-Carb. Captain Redbeard, new to the league, hosting tonight's race in P17. Rich Sebi in P18, and P19, it's Avera. Right then, we had better get ourselves out into track and on board with the McLaren. Hot on the brakes and nicely taken in turn 1. Couple of places you can really invalidate here. This is one of them. Turn 4 and 5 are invalidation stations. But beautifully taken so far, just about avoiding that wall. And then it's hugging this right-hand side all the way down to flinging the car into this quite a long chicane before we get to the DRS zone. And then it's hot, hot, hot. Wing wide open all the way down to the quick right-hander at the bottom of the hill. In he goes, a little bit slightly deep in there, you could say, which does hamper the exit on that run down towards the hairpin, the dreaded hairpin, I have to say. Seems to tackle it okay though, Ardell. And then it's just a long, straight. Setup's really important here, and of course, the wing will be wide open again. This is one of the main overtaking spots in this race. If you don't have DRS and the guy behind you does, you will be in a little bit of bother. And here we go again, an invalidation station. And also the Wall of Champions doesn't claim its first victim of the night. Hugging that right-hand side, then all the way down to the line. Ardell, a 110.4, is the first lap on the board. That will be the first lap. We do have a Ferrari. That's Avira coming across the line to start his lap. We do have, is it D-Master OG? Here comes D-Master OG then. Seems to take it a little steadier through there. A better job by D-Master. And he hits the front. 2/10, besting the McLaren. So Red Bull sat out in front at present. Freddie is just about to start his run. We've got another car. Yeah, just about crossing the lights. Rich Sebi in the Alpine. First of our drivers into the 90s to 109.7. Not that fast anymore. Much love, Gwenfro. Hope you're doing very well then. Here we go. Can Freddie Rozelle trouble that front row and get himself up there? He can more than trouble the front row. 3 and a bit hundreds. And it's Freddie Rozelle currently sat on provisional pole with a little under 14 minutes to go. The first runs are beginning to be in the book. We've heard Gamer say he's a little bit slower these days. He's invalidated early doors, no doubt at turn number 4. Here comes Gabot, by the way. He's just making his way through Sector 2. End of Sector 2 here. Let's see what that looks like. It's a 42.6. And he loses it into the hairpin. Got a little bit of curb there. And that really did flip that back end right round. Spinning like a festival top. And Gabot will probably have to dip back into the pits, replace those soft tyres, and get himself back out again. Here comes City of Art. We do have a Red Bull about to cross the line. Is that D-Master again on a second run? It might be D-Master about to start a second run. So City of R, 42.6. 42.2 then for City of R in the Williams. Williams, one of the fancy teams when it comes to the overall standings. UF Grand says he's cooked. Cinnamon says he's cooked in Tier 1. Let's see how we get on then. A couple of drivers into the 9s. Here comes City of R. 27 battery. He's going to be able to burn that quite a lot then down this straight towards the start-finish line. And there he goes, look. Burn, 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 baby, burn. Crosses the line at 110.6. Still 10% battery left there as well. So can afford to use a little bit more battery on the long straight. We've got a V-carb about to cross the line. I think that's J-Joe, is it? J-Joe's just starting his lap in that V-carb. Let's see if we can capture one of the Mercedes. Here comes Harv then. Harv in the Mercedes. Another new driver here. What's he got in the locker? It's going to be a 110. It's a 110.5. Goes 7th fastest in the Mercedes. Here comes... Is it D-Master on a second run? No, D-Master's bunked out of the second run. He'd lost himself half a second. So in here comes Gamer, I believe. Yeah, here comes Gamer then down towards the start-finish line to post his first time. Now he's going to have plenty of battery when he crosses the line as well, I think. Probably 10%. Yeah, 12%. Gamer with a 110.8. We've got another driver into the 9s. It's OTC Dreams, the last winner here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Tier 2. He takes P3 with a 109.77. A shade over 100 slower, 11,000 slower than Rich Sebi. Gabon has invalidated right at the start of the lap, so he's going to have to go round again. We got the Haas coming down. That's Golden Drift, was it? No, maybe Dimey. Dimey just diving into the pits. Here comes Alex Carew then. So Alex Carew, let's sit on board with him for a full lap. Only 3 races here, and he's invalidated straight off the bat, so he'll go again. How's our good friend Gwenfro? Purple Sector 2. 42 flat for the Kicks Alberman. What's he got down the straight? 70% battery left. The wing wide open right about now. And he will drive ever so fast then down towards the that final chicane, looking to avoid the Wall of Champions. Takes an early turn in there. You'll note an early turn in. Slight tap of the wall on the rear right. But looks like a good time. Yeah, 10 flat for Gwenfro. Quickest of the 10-second guys. And then we've got a couple of things happening a little bit further back. So let's just have a look. Is it PNW Bomb? No, it is not. That must be J-Joe. J-Joe also into the 9s, by the way. So he'll come into the pit lane. Currently sat 4th fastest. Ardell on his next run. No, he's just setting himself up for another run. So Ardell, the guy we saw out first, will set his second time before Captain Beard gets his first in the bank. Here comes I'm a Bum, PNW Bum, on the long drag down. Seems to have used quite a lot of battery, though. Will not have quite as much battery left as he crosses the line, flicks off. He's still on hot lap. Will have 24%. So he might have actually just done this perfectly. He might cross the line as he gets to 0. Near as damn it. And he puts himself into 15th position with a 1:11.1. So, do we have... Is Gwenfro out for a second run? No, he's just warming... Oh, that looks like a part of a car's just flown off. Not too sure whose it was. There is an Alpine currently out and about. D-Master's starting his second run as well. Let's see his first sector split. He's about to do it now. He's just over a tenth up. Looks like a purple sector 1, but round he goes then. Too much curb on the inside. Be careful there, D-Master. Yeah, well done. Well controlled. Purple sector 1 means absolutely nothing, though, because round he goes. Gwenfro is 2.5 tenths up through sector 1. He's actually got Gamer behind him on an out lap as well. So maybe once he's done this lap here, he will be able to give Gamer a run down one of the longer straights if he's got enough fuel to kind of stay out in front of him. Here we go. Gwenfro back to cross that second sector line then. Let's see if he can get into the 41s. He can. Over a tenth up. 41.948 for him as he rounds the hairpin. And he'll make his way right down this long straight. One of the longest straights, certainly of the racetrack, of course, if not the longest straight of the racetrack. Looking to see how much battery he has as he flings it round this final turn. He's going to be in the mid-20s. That red flashing fuel light doesn't crash into the roads. Rich Sebi, 109.54, goes quicker. And it's Gwenfro with a 109.790 up into P4. But it's the Alpine of Rich Sebi currently sat at the top of the standings. Looking good for Alpine. Golden Drift will have some work to do, of course. He's 3 tenths up on his time, so he'll come back in, no doubt, and then go for a final run. I can't see the clock, because we've got yellow flags in Sector 3, so I can't see the clock. And this doesn't look like it's going to be a particularly quick time for Golden Drift. He does get 2 tenths back, but stays in P16, 300s behind I'm a Bum in that V-Carb. Through goes the Haas of Alex Carew. Alex Carew currently sat in P18 with a 118 flat. Of course, that's one heck of a cautious banker, but I think we'll see a little bit more from the Haas man as we go through this final 7 minutes of qualification. We're looking for late 41s, early 42s. Oh, we're not going to see anything there, though, as Gamer goes a 109.427, 300s quicker to claim provisional pole. And Alex Carew, huge mistake there, coming through those turns, what is it, 7 and 8, or 7, 8 and 9. Freddie Rizaldo claims provisional pole back from Gamer. Those two fighting it out at the head of the field, and a little over 1/10 covers that top 3. Sensational stuff from them. Into the pits will come Alex Carew. Captain Redbeard. Let's see what Captain Redbeard's got to offer then. He's just starting his lap now. Into turns 4 and 5. Keeps it valid. Keeps it out of the wall as well. 2 bonuses that you've got, certainly, when you are in Sector 1 here at Montreal. Through he goes, a little bit wiggly coming out of that long chicane. And then it's DRS wing wide open on this Mercedes. All the way down to this quick right-hander. 4th gear, perhaps. Yeah, 4th gear. Right, then left. Plenty of curb on the exit. And then it's going to be hugging this left-hand side before you flick it into the hairpin. Curb on the outside. There it goes. Over towards the right-hand side where DRS will be picked up. And then it'll just be a slow and steady drift over to the left-hand side before we come to this absolute killer chicane that we're all so familiar with. It's an invalidation station, but it's navigated beautifully there by the Mercedes of Captain Redbeard, and he's going to hit the line It's a 1:10.5, so not a lot of time. 1 second, by the way, covers the top, 12 drivers? And then not a great deal of time covering the next few positions. Mercedes look to be struggling tonight with 13th and 14th. But out in front, Freddie Rozelle. J-Joe, look at J-Joe. J-Joe's got himself into the mix as well in the V-Carb. He's going to dip into the pits. Can he get one more run in before the end to try and steal pole position? 33 of you, ladies and gentlemen, tuning in so far tonight. I want to say thank you so much to you for your dedication to watching us here at Moose Racing League. If you'd please, while you're here, please kick the thumbs up, the like button for the stream. Let's push this out to as many people as possible. More people deserve to see these guys race. They are some of the quickest we've got here, hence being in Tier 2. But yeah, most people need to see some of these guys race. And if you're here for the very first time, please feel free to hit that subscription button. We're almost at 1,250 subscribers here on Moose Racing League, and we're going to be pushing for 1,500 as soon as possible. But who do we have out on track right now? It's Gwenfro then. So Gwenfro's last time, he's now down into P7, the slowest of our 1 minute 9 guys with a 1:09.790. He's almost 2.5 tenths, in fact. He is above Happy Like Pie, Sheldon Humphrey. The two Aston Martin guys flying in formation in 8 and 9. The two Williams guys flying in formation in 10 and 11. The two Mercedes guys flying in formation in 13 and 14. So lots of nicely matched teammates so far. Sketchy says it's, we'll call it controversial, shall we, Sketchy, that J. Joe, Sebi and Gamer are in Tier 2, and he believes that carnage will happen. Well, I did refer to it a little bit earlier on. There are 172 penalty points in the starting 20 drivers. I know we've only got 19 drivers starting tonight, but the starting 20 drivers that got drafted into full-time seats, they do have 172 penalty points between them, which is more penalty points than they've got podiums between them at 164. But we don't want to talk about those negative things. We want to get on board with Gwenfro as he heads out on what will be his final run here at Montreal Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the short qualification session in Tier 2 for Moose Racing League. Nicely done through turns 1 and 2. He's going to swing in here to turn 4 and 5, beg your pardon. And then he will be on the chase, down towards this. A real tricky, we've already seen at least one driver lose it there tonight. Gets a little bit lazy on the throttle coming out there because he couldn't quite get the car turned in, Gwenfro. But we will see when he gets down towards the next checkpoint then, which is just a matter of yards up the road, what his time will be. 41s, late 41s is what we're looking for. He's 300 slower than his prior run. So he doesn't look like he's going to improve. He needs a couple of attempts here just to gain one position from D-Master. He'll need a hell of a lot more in that final chicane if he's going to try and challenge for the top slot. 600s between Freddie Rozelle and J. Joe as it stands with 1 minute 40 left in this session. And that isn't an invalidation. He did take it quite quickly. It looked like an invalidation, but it isn't. Here we go. The chase down to the line, and he's a bit slower. 8 thousandths slower this time around. Let's see what we've got here. D-Master, he will be the next car to chase down the line, and it looks like he's just starting his lap. Dimey, how's he doing? He's a 10th up. He's just about to cross the Sector 2 line. Has he managed to gain any more time? 3 tenths up now for Dimey. That takes him into the 109s. Won't be any good for anything better than 8th right now, though. What can he do in this final sector? We've got a yellow flag. That is a crash car. I can't quite see who it is. It might have been it's a Mercedes on an outlap, ladies and gentlemen. That is a Mercedes on an outlap, crashed into the wall, down a straight. I don't believe it. Maybe he'd been warming up his tyres, but it's going to cost him. Crossing the line, Damey does indeed move up to P8. Not quite into the 9s, though. Captain Redbeard into the pits he goes. Harv just about to start his lap. I'm a Bum has called it quits. Here comes Avira on an invalidated lap. Golden Drift on the race down to the line as he knows it's his out lap. Has he made it in time? He has made it in time. He's going to start again. Here comes Gabop. Through turns 1 and 2. So a 1:11.5 for the McLaren. And he's over a tenth and a half slower through Sector 1. Doesn't seem like he's got it down here. Maybe a lack of practice, maybe a ropey setup. J-Joe finishes. He's going to be 600s behind Freddie Rozelle. What have we got out in front, though? There goes Invalidation. Here comes Dreams. He's done as well, is he? Or is he on a racing light? He is. Here comes Dreams. Dreams will be looking. And it's a 109.251 by Sebi. Taking provisional. Freddie Rozelle will have to fight back. Where is Freddie Rozelle? Freddie Rozelle's going to be crossing the line first. There is a car in front of him. Oh, just about keeps that out of the wall and keeps it valid. The chase down to the line then for Freddie Rozelle. Claims pole back. And the 19 flat. What a lap that is. Gamer going slow. Dreams. Here comes Dreams. He's the next car across the line then. Previous race winner at Canada. Puts himself on the second row. Gamer will not improve. D-Master will not improve. He is done and dusted. Gwenfro off the track. Ardell finished. City of R then crosses the line. P11 for City of R. Only J left and he will dive into the pit lane. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's your short qualification session for tier number 2. And it will be Freddie Rozelle reserving in the Ferrari that takes pole position with a 109.059. 2/10 quicker than the Alpine of Rich Sebi. And then 600ths further back, it's OTC Dreams in the Haas. The V-Carb of J-Joe with a 109.397, a further 800ths back. Gamer then, 109.427, 109.627 for D-Master OG with Gwenfro, 109.798. The Kick Sauber team principal will probably be quite happy. The Ferrari team principal, having reserved that guy in, will obviously be very happy. Some nice position there for Aston Martin as well in P9 and P10. Freddie to tier 1. Here we go, says B-Dunk. E-I-E-I-O. Yeah, some interesting times. And there it is. Freddie Rozelle taking pole position. Second is Rich Sebi, Dreams, and J-Joe on the second row, with the third row being made up of Gamer and D-Master OG. Gwenfro and Ardell, row 4 with row 5, Sheldon Humphrey and Daimio. In P11, it's City of R with 12, it's half. J's in 13 with Golden Drift 14. Alex Carew, after that proper collapse on his run, 15. 16th is Captain Redbeard with a Vera, 17th. I'm a bum in 18th. And Gabob couldn't do anything. 2.2 seconds off the pace for the McLaren man. And that will be a disappointed McLaren team principal. That is... interesting stuff. Well, we won't be hanging around too long, of course, here in Moose Racing League. There isn't a designated break, as we all know. So those of you who normally ask when we're starting, we're going to be starting pretty much immediately. Get yourselves onto that race strategy, and it won't be too far from showtime. Beautiful blue, bright skies yet again. We can see all the cars there on the grid. It appears that all the mechanics have left the grid, and they've all tottered back in. We can see some of them sat there in Freddie Rozelle's garage next to Avera's. The team principal and all the race engineers sat within their little huts there that you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. And yeah, beautiful blue, bright skies. I'm sure we'll see that continue, certainly for the first half of this race. And it will, I suppose, from that point, it'll be interesting to see what we get from a weather perspective. Like I've said before, we have had 7 of these drivers have been world champions, and they have been Gwenfro, Gamer, J-Joe, PNW Bum, City of R, Golden Drift, and Sheldon Humphrey. That is your 7 world champions. Those guys are all vying for a second world championship. We've also got a couple of guys who are in the top 10s when it comes to wins here, with D-Master OG 10 wins. 10 wins for Happy Like Pies, Sheldon Humphrey as well. So plenty of race winners in here. Those people yet to register a race win. Technic Speedy isn't tonight. Rich Sebi never registered a race win. He's registered 4 podiums. So maybe after getting himself up onto the front row, he can break his duck tonight. Avera, no race wins. But let's just concentrate then, because we've got the formation lap on. We'll see how we get on with this as we cruise round. Be interested to see how we fare into turn 1. There's always been a mention of it in the chat already. So, yeah, I agree. Turn 1 into turns 2 and 3. And then, of course, we've got the guys that perhaps won't back out into turn 3 and 4. Beg your pardon. 1, 2, yeah, turn 4 and 5. Whatever it is. Whatever those two turns are where the invalidation stations are. Let's just see if we've got ourselves a cheeky little track map that I can peer at for a brief moment in time if my lovely internet would decide to work. I'm sure it will do eventually. It'd be lovely if stuff just worked first time. That'd be magnificent, ladies and gents, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it just be nice? Here we go, yeah. So it is, yeah. So turns 1 and 2, then it's 3 and 4. That's the invalidation station as you try and swing through 3 to take the straightest possible line through that part of Sector 1. Other invalidation stations, of course, are turns 8 and 9, and then, of course, 13 and 14. People have been known, of course, to invalidate turn 1 as well. So will be interesting to see. Of course, when I say invalidate now, I'm talking about track limit penalties and not matching the race director's view on what should or should not be done. So Daimi is interesting. Wait for everybody to ready up at the back. Here we go then. 5 lights are on. And now it's showtime in Tier 2 Moose Racing League on Sunday night. And it's Freddie Rizal that does indeed get a great start and maintains his lead of the race. It's Freddie Rizal, Rich, Sebi, Dreams, J-Joe, Gamer, D-Master OG, Ardell, Gwenfro, Sheldon Humphrey, and City of R. That's your top 10. Couple of places exchanging. And that looks like Gamer taking a long route through the grass. And he's going to have to let... yeah, he's going to let through, is he? He isn't going to let through. That'll be interesting to see how that comes through in the wash. Let's get some interesting information on a mixture of strategy so far in this race with a whole host of drivers towards the top end doing the hard tyre strategy first. Freddie Rizal in the mediums, though, alongside Daimiel Harv, Alex Carew, Golden Drift. We've got all kinds of stuff happening off at the back. And Captain Redbeard, by the way, looks like he has gone all the way to the back of this field on the medium tyre. And yeah, he is all the way to the back. Let's just have a quick look at the position changes off the bat then. Down 3, Captain Redbeard. Up 4, up 5 now. Up 6, Alex Carew. Go up 7. Some move from him down that long straight. And look at him go. My word, Alex Carew, after 1 lap, up 7 positions. That is some incredible driving from the Horseman. And all of a sudden, he is making moves. What a start from him. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep our eyes on Alex Carew. After what was a disastrous qualification session, he's really putting the pedal to the metal in this, the first 2 laps of this race. Just quickly get back onto the tyre situation then. Out in front, Rich Sebi trying desperately to hang on. A little bit of a lag there for Rich Sebi. Seems to set him back. And yeah, Alex Carew, 3 seconds for Alex Carew. So all the hard work that he's done, up 7 positions. That is a laggy Alpine, ladies and gentlemen. Costing time all the way. Is that going to cost Rich Sebi his chance at a race victory? Freddie Rizal on that medium compound tyre has broken the DRS. 1 second flat at the moment. But yeah, the wing will not be open on the back of that Alpine then. Freddie Rizal, fastest lap of the race with a 1:12.9 already in the books. And OTC Dreams already 1.7 seconds off the back of Rich Sebi. He does have Gamer for company. They're trying desperately between them to drop J-Joe. J-Joe's got Ardell and D-Master OG for company. And then we've got that 1.2 second gap back to Alex Carew in the Haas. He's managed to get himself 1.8 seconds in front of Harv in the Mercedes, with the Aston Martin then of Dimey, that trio of medium tyre runners in 8, 9 and 10. We've then got a trio of hards runners in City of Art, Gwenfro and Sheldon Humphrey. They are within close proximity of Dimey. Harv looks like to be the proverbial champagne cork in that particular bottle, as he's got that 2-second gap to Alex Carew. And then all the way then, it's a DRS chain all the way back down to Captain Redbeard in P17, who's 1.9 seconds off the rear car on that, which is Jay's F1. A little bit of moving and shaking going on here. And in front as well. What have we got going on at the front there? A couple of positions changing there. Ardell loses... J-Joe loses a position to Ardell. Dreams loses a position to Gamer. Those two guys will have to work quite closely together to try and get themselves back into contention with the guys at the front, as D-Master picks up a 3-second penalty. So that's D-Master OG and Alex Carew, currently sat in P7 and P8 with 3 seconds worth of time penalties for their interpretation of track limits, not meeting that of the current race director, whomever that might be. First of the 32 of you guys watching tonight, whoever is first in the chat with a name, we will do an on-board lap with the first driver that I see in... first driver name I see in chat, whenever I see it. Of course, I will keep my eyes and ears pretty much open. But yeah, if you want to see a driver, so Eruption wants to see Sebi. No, I beg your pardon. It was Skill Issue wants to see Gwenbro. So let's get ourselves on with Gwenbro. Gwenbro is almost at the end of this, the 4th lap, and then we'll jump on board with him. And who knows, we might do a couple of on-board laps with a few of our other drivers tonight. I'm sure we will. Here comes Gwenfro then. We've seen somebody hit the wall. I think Daimyo there in front of him has tapped the wall of champions, as we saw an end plate spiraling off into the distance. And yeah, we can see it just from the turn. No, actually, there isn't. There isn't an end plate missing. There isn't. He has got that right end plate, so maybe it's Gwenfro that's missing the end plate there. Half picks up 3 seconds. And Gwenfro then got cars for company behind, of course. He got City of R and Sheldon and Avira, all for company. He's trying to chase down these two, though. So it'll be Harv that they're trying to chase down at the minute. They'll both have DRS. Both Gwenfro and Dimey will have DRS. Trying to close in on the back of that Mercedes of Harv. Through turns 8 and 9. Tiny little bit of battery using. Now we're harvesting under medium battery use for Gwenfro. And he'll have to get hard on the brakes here then, seeing the different lines that people take through this, the hairpin, and they're actually catching the guys out in front as well. So Harv now almost within DRS of Alex Carew and J-Joe. J-Joe losing a position to Alex Carew, but here's Gwenfro then. Safety car, full safety car out on track. And what have we seen? Where is our issue here? Oh, get on those anchors. We didn't quite see that full lap, but we're going to see plenty of cars. Drive-through penalty, speeding under safety car for Alex Carew. He's picked that up going into the pits, so obviously he was ahead of the Delta. Harv, same for Harv. 2 drive-through penalties. That's their race in absolute tatters as they dive back out after that pit stop. Hard tyres for Daimyo. Hard tyres for Avira, Golden Drift, Captain Redbeard. Gabop still on the hard tyre. He's in the pit. He's thrown the soft tyre on us, Gabop. That's an interesting strategy from the McLaren man. Wow. What a way to start lap 6 under safety car conditions with 2 drivers in Harv and in Alex Carew. 2 new drivers, or newish drivers, with only 3 race starts between them here at Moose Racing League, having to suffer a drive-through penalty that they can't obviously serve under safety car conditions. We see all the cars making their way around now past the safety car there, just after, what's that, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So after turn 7, on the run down towards turns 8 and 9 is where that safety car's parked up, waiting for our current leader, Freddie Rozelle, to swing round. Are we going to see Freddie get himself into the pits? Freddie, yeah, Freddie in the pits, Sebi in the pits, Dreams in the pits. Ardell stays out. So Ardell is the one guy that stayed out on 6-lap old hard tyres. D-Master OG has also stayed out. Is he going to get himself out in front? Harv has stayed out, obviously, with that drive-through. Wants to be as far up. Jays has stayed out. Doesn't manage to get himself out in front of Freddie Rosello. So Freddie Rosell comes back out. And having made his one pit stop, he'll be hoping that we don't have too much incident as Sebi picks up 3 seconds under safety car conditions. The penalty seconds beginning to pile up here for a few of our drivers. Just have a quick look at those. 3 seconds each for Gabop, Gamer, Sebi and D-Master. A quick look at the number of stops we've had then. So Jay, Harv, D-Master, Ardell, I'm a Bum, all yet to stop. And we've got a DNF. We've got Gabop. Gabop has called it a day in the pit lane. So Gabop dives into the pits and he has called it a night. So we're down to 18 drivers. That's a retirement. No crash involved. It's just a retirement for our McLaren driver. And if the McLaren driver was disappointed, he's shown it by pulling himself off into the pit lane. Into the pit goes Harv. Interesting from Harv. No, not the ability to serve that drive-through. So maybe perhaps a little bit... I suppose it doesn't really matter. Better off to get that done under safety car conditions. He knows he's going to be towards the back anyway. And Alex Carew has done exactly the same. So those guys will get the opportunity to catch back up to the back of this safety car queue. Alex Carew will be at the rear of the field. Sheldon Humphrey now in P17 after his one stop. Really revving the backside off that Aston Martin. Let's just have a look then. So what's been the movers and shakers then? What's the mixture? So I'm a Bum up P10, up 10 places. Yet to pit, of course. Up 9 for Jays. He's yet to pit. 7 for Ardell and D-Master OG up 4. All of those guys yet to pit. Avira has pitted and has improved by 5 positions. So good stuff. Good stuff for him. Safety car is going to come in this lap then, as Alex Carew has managed to get himself up towards this back. Let's jump on board with Freddie then, with those fresh tyres on. 1 lap old hard tyres versus the 7 lap old hard tyres in front of him. The safety car is peeled, or has peeled, off into the lane. So when will Ardell hit the buzzer? When will he declare his intent? As Freddie gets a little bit tight and close. A little bit of loose rear end there from D-Master and indeed from Freddie. But they will race down towards turn 1. It'll be Ardell that leads them in. Ardell, who had the better getaway scene there, hasn't left anybody really. Gwenfro takes a position there. P9 from Daimio. Kick Sauber on Aston Martin. Rich Sebi, 3-second penalty for him under safety car starting conditions. And that was a scary moment for the Alpine, and we're looking at Alpine. If the Alpine team principal is live here, it may be that we want to manage this problem we've got with connection for Rich Sebi. That is incredible. This is real bad from Rich Sebi. Not too sure that internet is playing the right kind of tune. And we've got a problem. It's City of R who's got a problem. It's City of R and Daimio. 10-second penalty from City of R. That's our first big collision of the night. There's no front wing whatsoever on the front of the Williams. And it'll be a missing left end plate for the Aston Martin. D-Master OG loses that to Freddie out in front. But that's the first big incident we've had of the night. And Rich Sebi is all over the road. Totally and utterly unreliable connection from the Alpine man. Don't know whether we can trust him. Just be careful, ladies and gentlemen, if you're trying to pass the Alpine that is up in front. That will have to be reported. Alex Carew, 3 seconds for him. as Gwenfro takes yet another position. It's now 6 and 7 for the two Kick Saubers. And we're actually going to have Gamer battling it out with D-Master OG. Ooh, a little bit of contact potentially there between Kick and Red Bull. Couldn't quite see who was at fault. Yeah, please, Sebi is incredible. Wow. Wow. He is laggy. You don't want to be trying to pass that car anywhere near a corner, by the way. Probably even less so on a straight. So yeah, the view from Gamer's car must be quite the scare show. Freddie Rozelle looking to make a move. Is he on Ardell? He's going to get this move done in plenty of time to take the lead of this race. Freddie Rozelle retakes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix on lap 10 of 35 here at Montreal's Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Ardell loses another place to OTC Dreams, and it's the last winner we had here at Canada that is in contention, or with the Ferrari of Freddie Rozelle. OTC Dreams in P2 on the medium compound tyre. Might be in the realms of hoping he gets a safety car, by the way, because 4 laps on those medium compounds tyres right now, as much as he's only 6/10 behind, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have DRS. Yeah, there's the DRS. I'm pretty sure those will not go the way. D-Master OG tumbling down the pack as well. He's tumbling down the pack because he's facing the wrong way. Can't get him off that camera. Couldn't get him off that camera. I can't get him off that particular camera. There he is. Right, okay. So mistake from D-Master or contact from another driver means he's plummeted all the way down to P16. Here comes OTC Dreams, though. Is he going to get a move? He's had a look down the outside. Defensive, though, line there from Freddie Rozelle. And that should allow OTC Dreams to get a better pull. But no, look at Freddie Rozelle pulling time there. Half a second. You can still see that red flashing light on the back of the Ferrari. 2 Ferrari engined cars, of course, out in front here. 1.5 second gap back to Gamer. Ardell on the hard tyre, yet to pit. Alex Carew then. New fastest lap. Over a third race distance then. Freddie Rozelle in the Ferrari. OTC Dreams in the Haas. It's the Kick Sauber of Gamer with the McLaren of Ardell. We've got another Kick Sauber then. It's Gwenfro in P5 with Rich Sebi now P6. The ever laggy Rich Sebi. He'll have J. Joe for company down in P7 with Jay's F1 in P8. Sheldon Humphrey then P9, a little bit behind, 2.2 seconds behind as J. Joe takes that position from the laggy Rich Sebi. Good move that from J. Joe. Gets the move done before having to go down that long straight, so that's good for him. Freddie Rozelle and Dreams exchanging positions down in towards that final chicane. That chicane, of course, denoted by turns 13 and 14 here at Montreal. J. Joe and Ardell now. So J. Joe getting a couple of positions there in the last few moments. Manoeuvring himself up into contention. Not far behind the 2 Kick Saubers. D-Master OG speeding in the pit lane. That's 10 seconds for him. What's D-Master OG going to do as the penalties begin to flood in? Let's take a look at those penalties then. 6 seconds for Captain Redbeard. 9 seconds now for Alex Carew in that Haas. 13 seconds, which includes 10 for D-Master OG for speeding in the pit lane. And that's 3 for Gamer, J. Joe, Rich Sebi, Ardell, Avera, and Harv. Cheers, B-Dunk. Much appreciated, my friend. Out in front then, so we're all the way down this this long straight again. Freddie Rozelle just stays behind Dreams for the time being. Dreams gets what seems to be a better exit out of that turn 13-14, the final chicane, avoiding the wall of champions. Plenty of manoeuvring though. Ardell now, yeah, in he goes into the pit lane. That's the McLaren making his change. He's going to come out now probably P16 once those guys have all got past him. No, P15, he'll come out. Gwenfro and Gamer looking to work together, the two Kick Saubers. Can these two guys, I know Gamer's obviously got that 3-second penalty, but do we think that perhaps they could begin to reel the Haas and the Ferrari in? Obviously, 2.9, 2.8 seconds the gap at the moment. Gwenfro will be the beneficiary, of course, with that 3-second penalty for Gamer. But lap 14 of 35, there's obviously plenty of time, plenty of racing to go. As I'm a Bum picks up his 3-second penalty, the first penalty for him there in P11. We're just going to turn the audio up ever so slightly, guys. There we go. Get a little bit of volume in. I feel like I need to give you a little bit more volume. Another 3 seconds for Alex Carew. That's 12 seconds for track limits for the Haasman. He is involved in a bit of a battle here with Harv and I'm a Bum. Golden Drift 1.1 seconds off the back of them. Jays is in a little bit of a tussle with 2 other cars around him, and then Sheldon Humphrey. That 3-second gap between Sheldon and Rich Sebi. Rich Sebi on the back of J-Joe. J-Joe 1.6 seconds off the back of Gwenfro. Gwenfro and Gamer trying to work together to begin to close this gap to that front 2. Freddie now leading the race in front of OTC Dreams. You can just see them out in the distance. They're about to go underneath the Louis Vuitton sign. Is worried Gwenfro's trying to keep his tyres warm there, and interesting he's been on them for quite a while. Just trying to keep himself away from the clutches of the Alpine of Rich Sebi. And actually he's managed to get himself through. He's got through on Gamer right now, so that gap 3.7 seconds then. So that gap was not 3.7 seconds. So it looks to me as though the guys have either slowed down to let Gwenfro through and drag Gamer along. Something I missed through being on the onboard camera, I think. So apologies to everybody for that. Maybe we'll find out if there's something else. DMastro G picks up another 3 seconds. That's 16 seconds now for the Red Bull man. If he's on medium tyres, he'll probably come in again. DMaster will probably come in again. Get rid of that 10-second penalty. Plenty of drivers are picking up other penalties, of course, as we go through this race. Not quite at half race distance yet. Freddie Rosell leading the way, 7.5 tenths, or 7 tenths now in front of Gwenfro. It's in front of Dreams. Gwenfro 4 seconds off the back. So, are we thinking that these medium tyres then have gone off for these two Kick Saubers? 11 lap hold, and they're losing time hand over fist. That is that's a couple of seconds, maybe a second and a half lost over the course of the last lap. After they'd exchanged positions. A whole host of medium tyre runners then, P2 to P7. I would imagine that they will all have to come back into the pit lane again to change onto another set of, probably a set of hard tyres if they've got some spare. Whether or not they have, we will have to wait and see. What are we saying then? With half race distance fast approaching, ladies and gentlemen, what are we saying? Because we've now got ourselves another safety car. That is, I've not seen where that's going. It looks like Daimi may be the unfortunate party. No, he's got to get past that safety car. City of R, he's still got car. D-Master OG picks up another 10-second penalty. Ardell seems to have a full wing. I'm a Bum. Harv. There it is. We found it eventually, ladies and gents. So it's Harv in the Mercedes that's crashed. Captain Redbeard picks up 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. This is and also driving speeding under safety car. So he's picked himself up a whole array of penalties. To say that this is careless from some of these guys tonight is an understatement, I think. We've got ourselves a real show on our hands. Somebody mentioned early doors this was going to be carnage. So this is our second safety car of the night. We've had countless drive-throughs. D-Master OG, City of R, Captain Redbeard, all with drive-through penalties. I'm pretty sure that there'll be a report back from some of these guys. I've not heard anything from Tiers 4 and 3 about things like drive-through penalties, but it seems like the guys are getting caught out by being way under the delta, or over the delta, I suppose you could say, as they pull into the pit lane. That seems to be where a lot of these mistakes are happening right now. We're over half race distance. I shall have a quick check on our guys out in front. So Dreams, yeah, Dreams has thrown some fresh mediums on. Avira, Gamer, and Freddie Rozelle still out. Are they going to dive into the pits now? No. So not the front three. The front three stay out. Ferrari, Kick-Sauber, Ferrari, Haas, Kick-Sauber, Haas. Interesting stuff. Great three-way team battle as we enter the second half of this race. Ferrari, Kick, and Haas at each other's throats here in round one at Montreal. If you've not been here before, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is Moose Racing League. We do 4 tiers of racing every single Friday night in Formula 1. And we also have an iRacing League as well. So if you're interested in iRacing, make sure you hit that subscription button. And of course, because I'm doing such a magnificent job on commentary, these drivers are doing such a magnificent job of driving, you want to hit that like button as well, so we share this stream out to as many people as possible. So let's hear then in the chat from any of you guys currently watching. What is your thoughts now? What are your thought process? Have Dreams and Gwenfro jumped to the front of this potential pack? No penalties, of course. Currently sat in P4 and 5. Brand new rubber. Can those tyres get to the end of the race? Can they get them in front of those guys on the older tyres right now? Freddie, Gamer and Avira. Can they get themselves out into the front and then build enough of a buffer that when those medium tyres go off towards the back end of this race, they've got enough in the tank to get them over the line? Or are we going to see some changes in weather? Is that why? I've not had any weathermen. Usually I get some weathermen come into the chat. As actually, it will be Gamer that dips into the pit lane. He's going to get that set of tyres changed pretty quick because the cars will be going round. Now, Freddie Rozelle all of a sudden has an advantage, doesn't he? He's got his teammate right behind him. Harv is out of this race. He has DNF'd in the pit lane. He's also left the session, by the way. Would rather you didn't do that, my friend. But he's left the session. 20 laps of racing down. 16 to go. We're on lap 20. So Freddie Rozelle leading the way then. Avira in the Ferrari. OTC Dreams in the Haas with Gwenfro in the Kick-Sauber. J-Joe then now up into P5 in the V-Carb with the Alpine of Rich Sebi. Golden Drift picks up 3 seconds under safety car conditions. That's criminal. Captain Redbeard up into P7 now. Some of the things I'm seeing are quite wild and crazy. I don't know what I'm watching here. Safety car is going to come in this lap though, so let's be careful and mindful, Sebi. Safety car is going to be in. We're going to jump on board with the guy who's got one of the freshest sets of tyres on the grid right now behind 2 Ferraris. You'll see the 2 blue rear wings of the Ferraris in front of you there. The 2 IBM logos staring you in the face if you're in that heart of OTC Dreams. We're going to get going again to start racing under green flag conditions on lap 21 of this, the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal, the Gilles Villeneuve circuit, of course. When will that first Ferrari go? I mean, if you're going to go, you may as well go early. but you don't want to give your opposition. There he goes. We can feel it going. There it is. Look at the traction difference on the medium tyre. We're going to see a challenge, are we? Into turn number 1. Round the outside. There goes Dreams around the first Ferrari of Avira. Now hot on the tail of this the second Ferrari of Freddie Rizal. And Avira all the way to P15 after contact in turn 1. Contact with the wall from Dreams as well. So what are we going to see here? Is he going to have to get past Freddie Rizal now as quick as possible? Is there a potential penalty looming for the Haas driver after contact then at the beginning of this race? Did he leave enough room? I think he did. Seems to leave lots of room on the inside of turn 1 as he went around the outside. But he's hot on the tail of the Ferrari of Freddie Rizal. J. Joe not too far behind either. Captain Redbeard now up into P4. Sebi P5. Ardell P6. Will be challenged, Ardell, though. Down into the hairpin by Jay's F1. And yes, he is, but Freddie Rizal's lost out at the hairpin to OTC Dreams with that faster, softer compound of tyre. And it'll be him that races down towards the chicane of death. Side by side they go then, but Freddie Rizal just backs out and allows the Haas of Dreams through. Freddie Rizal, J. Joe, Captain Redbeard, Rich Sebi, Jays, Gamer, Sheldon Humphrey, Carew. We've got somebody backwards. We've got plenty of action happening in the pit lane already. We do, of course, have those drive-throughs to complete. And round goes Rich Sebi. He's in all kinds of bother. That may well have been caused. Oh, my word. That may well have been caused. I just wanted to make sure I captured that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get back out to the front where we can see 3 cars now have broken away from the pack. Dreams, Freddie Rizal, J. Joe, Haas, Ferrari, V-Carb. 2 seconds clear of the chasing pack, which is fronted by the Williams of Jay's F1 and Sheldon Humphrey, 1.5 seconds back from him. Alex Carew with a whole host of penalties, 12 seconds. Sheldon Humphrey, by the way, happy like pies, a former world champion here at Moose Racing League, in with a chance of a podium if he can keep it clean and catch up towards the back of J. Joe. A big claim there from MRK, running with underwear outside if Bum picks up some points. Sheldon and Alex Carew getting right at it as Gamer picks up another penalty. That's 6 seconds for him. But he is going to challenge Sheldon Humphrey down into turn 1 and does just about get the job done. Rich Sebi has retired from the session, thankfully, in the pit lane. Captain Redbeard was doing so well. Now he's back down into P14 with 16 seconds of penalties. Doesn't appear to have... oh, he had a drive-through, didn't he? Begging one's pardon, he did have a drive-through. So that's what will have done that. Freddie down into P3. 16-lap old hard tyres. Over a second now behind J. Joe. So falling out of DRS range with Jay's F1 on the fresher, softer compound. Closing in, closing down the gap. Will we see Jay's F1 in that Williams overtake the Ferrari of Freddie Rizal here on lap 23? Is he going to be close enough to make something happen all the way down this back straight then before we get to that final chicane? Turns 13 and 14 and the Wall of Champions. 6/10 the gap. Looks like he might be too far back though. We're getting down to 4.5, maybe 4. Almost 3.5. Freddie Rizal, big penalty for the Ferrari. You can feel the pressure being applied by the Williams of Jay's F1. A mistake from the Ferrari man, who was no doubt favourite for this race a little under 6 laps ago. But it'll be OTC Dreams and J. Joe. OTC Dreams now with a 9/10 advantage and no penalties against his name. Surely the favourite to go back-to-back at Canada for the 2nd consecutive race win at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. A little over 15 months apart those 2 race ones would be. That was a wet race, of course, back in February 2024, season 10, round number 4. Not this time. Dry so far, 24 laps into this 35-lap race. But J. Joe will be applying the pressure. He's got to make himself visible in the wing mirrors of that Haas. Put the pressure on Dreams. Can Dreams therefore make a mistake? And J. Joe can at least get level on penalties. Or can he get himself past the Haas? and get himself a further 3 seconds down the road. We did say Jays was looking to make a move on Freddie Rizal, and there it is. Jays moves up into P3, and he's okay in P3 as well, because with all those cars having penalties around him, he looks like he's going to be in good shape. Let's double check on the tyre situation again. Just ride with J. Joe, says Camu. Outrageous. Only 4 drivers without penalties then. Those 4 drivers are OTC Dreams, Sheldon Humphrey, TTRE Damo, and City of R. City of R is on 15-lap-old medium tyres, though. So I would assume that we will see that gentleman dipping into the pit lane relatively quickly. Freddie really has dropped right off the back. Jay's 2.2 seconds off the back of that leading 2 again in Dreams and J-Joe. Looks like it's a 2-way tussle for the winner of this, the opening round of season number 14 in Tier 2. Another 3 seconds for Gamer. That takes him up to 9, I believe. Yeah, 9 seconds for J-Joe. 19-lap-old hard tyres for Freddie Rizal. Alex Carew with 12 seconds of penalties will tumble down the order. Sheldon Humphrey with none will benefit, but he'll only benefit on 2 positions. He'll benefit so far, unless he can close that gap down, of course, to Gwenfro. Gwenfro's picked up his first 3-second penalty for a poor interpretation of track limits. Jays does have 4 cars for company here, by the way. Freddie, Gamer, Alex Carew, Gwenfro. Penalties abundant. Boring race on his own for Sheldon Humphrey at present. Currently sat in P8. Will benefit, like I say, from 2 position changes as it currently stands. He'll overtake both Gamer and Alex Carew. At the rear of the field, City of R looks like he's probably ditched those medium tyres. No, he hasn't ditched the medium tyres yet. Let's just check in with him real quick. Where is he? He's coming up towards the hairpin. I'm pretty sure he'll probably try and get rid of those shortly. 3/10 the gap then between these leading 2. Pressure being applied by the V-Carb. D-Master and Avira exchanging positions down towards the final chicane, turns 13, 14. And then that race down towards the line. The Red Bull will best him. 21-lap-old tyres on the Ferrari. So Avira's really dropped back, even though he started after that safety car. He was in P2. He really is dropping back. Are we going to see, oh look, from the rear wing here, with Gamer just having a look, a little glimpse on the inside of Freddie Rizal then, going down to his turns 8 and 9. He's switched back the other side now to have a look around the outside perhaps as they head towards turn number 10. Defensive line there from Freddie Rizal. And not too far behind, we've got Alex Carew and Gwenfro. That gap now 5 seconds back to Sheldon Humphrey. Looks like he's settled to finish possibly P6. He doesn't want to be losing too much more time, though, to Alex Carew and Gwenfro. Jay managing to keep himself. Battery at 25-26% then. A little bit of burn there to try and defend with that as we look again back from his rear wing to this chasing quartet. Freddie Rizal, Gamer, Alex Carew and Gwenfro. J-Joe still sat in 2nd position then. Lap 28.35 then at Montreal. Moose Racing League. It's Sunday evening. I know you've probably been with us for at least 3.5, 4 hours already. And we've still got plenty of action left to come. We've obviously got the final 7 or 8 laps here in Tier 2. And then the full 35 laps again in Tier number 1. I'll also be calling that this evening. Jump back on board with J-Joe. Seems to have fallen back ever so slightly there. Probably just doing a job to try and look at that battery. 80 odd percent, or 90% for Dreams as well. So both drivers got plenty of battery left. Jay's losing a couple of positions. Into the pit lane comes Jay's. Right, okay. Is there something wrong with the Williams? He's into the pit lane. A mere 6 laps of racing left to go. We'll have to keep our eye on where he comes out and the tyre that he puts on. Keep your eyes on that graphic. He's put on a fresh set of mediums. We know that the soft tyre allegedly doesn't last too long on this game cycle, but Freddie Rozelle therefore moves back up into 3. Ardell picks up another penalty. That takes Ardell to 9 seconds. He gets himself out in front of Jason. Jason's going to fall all the way back down to P14 as he exits the pits, just in front of Golden Drift. Jays will pick up a couple of extra places, but he's got a lot of work to do here to try and get up towards those point-scoring positions. I believe we are P12 points this season. So Freddie Rozelle currently sat in P3. Alex Carew, by the way, has got himself up into P4, but with that 12 seconds of penalties will tumble down the order. Sheldon Humphrey, the 2 Aston Martins flying in formation just behind the 2 Kick Saubers there. Carew picks up another penalty. That's 15 seconds for the Haas. J. Joe just clinging on to the back, just doing a battery building exercise here. Freddie Rozelle hasn't managed to close that gap down too significantly. Still 2.1 seconds, the gap between 3rd and 2nd, with penalties matched between J. Joe and Freddie Rozelle. Gwenfro matched with those guys as well, and he'll be trying to get himself past Alex Carew to stay in contention with Freddie Rozelle, just in case Freddie caps another penalty. Sheldon really has begun to go backwards. 8.2 seconds, that gap now. Jay's managed to get himself up into P12. Oh, and Gamer on fresh rubber as well now. Fresh soft rubber. He's going to get himself up the inside of the Williams here. Up the inside of Jay's. Fresh, soft versus fresh, medium. What are we going to see? Are we going to see a tussle down towards turns 8 and 9 then? On the inside, later on the brakes, is the Kick Sauber. Gets the job done. And there's going to be a double move here because that Mercedes goes back 2 positions. Gamer and Jay's 2 corners. Captain Redbeard back down in P13 with 16 seconds worth of penalties as well. So not a good night for the Mercedes clan this evening. Gamer, though, is Gamer with 9 seconds of penalties. Too far back to get himself into the points. He's going to make a move on Vera. Gets himself past a defensive line taken by the Ferrari, but there's nothing that he could do to thwart the efforts of the big green fighting machine. And I think we're going to have a look at the Williams of Jay's here, having a little look. He's going to have better traction, surely. Better grip, better traction. He's going to get the job done. Down the inside, down towards turns 3 and 4. And there he is, gets the job done. Captain Redbeard picks up another 3. He will be livid with himself tonight. Won't be too happy. J. Joe and Dreams, lap 31 as City of R and I'm a Bum both pick up 3 seconds penalties. The penalties are absolutely rocking and rolling around Tier 2 tonight. Only 3 drivers now with no penalties. Dreams, the guy who currently leads the race, as Ardell picks up another 3. That's Ardell up to 12 seconds as well. Lord only knows where these drivers are going to finish with all these penalties that are flying around. Gwenfro on Freddie. Gwenfro gets himself in front, down the home straight, over the start-finish line. Freddie Rozelle is going to be closing in to the back there, but look at the age of those tyres. 25 hard versus 14 medium. You'd think, actually, that the hard tyre might still be perhaps marginally better than a 14-lap-old medium tyre. I guess we'll see over the course of the last 2 or 3 laps of this race whether or not that is true. As Ardell calls it a night in the pit lane. He's had enough. Probably wasn't going to score any points tonight due to the amount of penalties that he's picked up over the first 31 laps of this race. But you never give up, my friend. The 2 Aston Martins here, they're going to be doing okay. 6th and 7th at the minute. They'll probably finish 5th and 7th, I would have thought, as it currently stands. J. Joe still just teetering along behind OTC Dreams. As Golden Drift picks up 3 seconds as well. That takes him up to 6. And yeah, he will finish 15th. 19 seconds for Captain Redbeard is enough for him to finish 14th at present. Can Gwenfro get himself past Alex Carew and go after J-Joe? Can that happen in the final few laps of this race? Stick with us, ladies and gentlemen, because we are about to find out who's going to win this race. Hands down, the favourite at the moment is the Haas driver of Dreams, as Gamer picks up penalties yet again. That's 12 seconds for him right now, down in P10 on the soft tyre. Moving quick, but too quick for the corners. OCT Dreams blatantly the favourite, with J-Joe and Gwenfro will be tussling it out for who finishes on the second step of the podium. Alex Carew, due to those penalties of 15 seconds, will tumble down. And it's J-Joe who's decided to take the initiative then. He's allowed OTC Dreams to be out in front for probably the last 10 laps. But now J-Joe is in a position. He's got 49% battery. Dreams with the battery advantage, the penalty advantage. OTC Dreams just has to stick with him now. Alex Carew will get pushed from Gwenfro. So Gwenfro, you'd think that he would come back in. Yeah, B-Dunk there on the screen now, my friend. I'm just flitting in between penalties and tyres so we can see what we feel about the ages. But yeah, in terms of penalties, we've got 3 seconds for J-Joe. Dreams just has to stick around within that 3-second mark. We're on the penultimate lap and it's only 6.5 tenths difference right now. Dreams just playing a calm and patient race. Knows that he doesn't have to do this on track tonight. He can still just go through the process of sticking behind that V-carb and crossing the line in second, and he will automatically jump into a winning position. Slow and steady, but also making sure that he doesn't cause himself any further problems. One mistake could lead to a penalty. One mistake could mean that he does not win this race. That's where the action is. Dreams just wants to keep himself in DRS as well. We're teetering on the edge of just manoeuvring out of that 1 second gap. It's 8.5 tenths, 8 tenths now. Just using a little bit of battery, as we can see there, just to get himself back into that frame, as D-Master and I'm a Bum exchange positions, 9 and 10. Sheldon and Daimi still without penalties themselves in P6 and P7. And it will just be enough for Sheldon Humphrey to steal a position from Alex Carew, who does carry 15 seconds worth of penalties. We're on the final lap here, of course, and all Dreams has to do is follow the V-carb of J-Joe down here and not make a mistake at this, the final lap, the final straight, the final sector, and certainly turns 13 and 14. Avoid the wall of champions, and you will pick up your 3rd win. Through we go. Golden Drift picks up another 3 seconds. It's J-Joe who's going to lead the way. He is going to cross the line in first positions, but it will be the Haas of Dreams that bunny hops him to take the win. Freddie Rizal crosses the line 3rd. Alex Carew 4th. Gwenfro's backwards. Why is Gwenfro backwards? Gwenfro is backwards. Sheldon Humphrey, that crossing the line backwards has cost him a lot of points. And it'll be Sheldon Humphrey that goes up into P4. Gwenfro, P5. Alex Carew down into P6, P7. It's really glitched the stream. I'm really sorry, guys. 8th, it'll be Jay's. 9th, D-Master OG. 10th, I'm a Bum. 11th, Gamer. Avira leaps up into 12th with Captain Redbeard 13th. Golden Drift just coming through the final chicane right now to take P14. And then it'll be City of R will be the last finishing car tonight. The 4 cars that didn't finish, by the way, the 2 McLarens, Maud, will be absolutely devastated. Interestingly, oh, Angry Shadow, congratulations on your race win. Well done tonight, my friend. Super showing from you in tier number 3. Right then, let's get to it. We'll get to the podium, of course. I won't deny these guys that podium. So up on the top step, it is the harsh driver of OTC Dreams. He becomes the driver that won back-to-back races here in Tier 2 at Canada. He won in February 2024. He claims a victory again in June 2025 to kick the season off in spectacular fashion around the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve in second place. We do have J-Joe in the V-Carb, and it looks like Freddie Rizal did in fact finish in P number 3. So congratulations. Let's have a quick look here then. Race winner OTC Dreams. Fastest lap was City of R in the Williams. Driver of the day was Alex Carew, which is incredible considering he had 700 minutes of penalties. Most overtakes, it was Jay's F1. And then OT Dreams, of course, was our cleanest driver of the night. So here we go. OTC Dreams wins. J-Joe second and Freddie Rizal finishing out your podium. What a great result that is for those top 3 drivers. Right, let's get ourselves back into the land of the living. We don't really have a great deal of time left because I've got to hop off and do a tier 1 stream as well in about 13 minutes. I promise that next time I'm here, guys, we will do interviews in tier 2. I can't do them tonight, unfortunately, because we're in a bit of a rush because I'm commentating on tier 1 as well. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your we got to get those pacers tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go cheer those pacers on, but not until you've cheered on the guys in tier number 1. I'll be with you in tier 1 as quick as I possibly can. Get yourselves over there, and I'll see you very, very shortly. Thanks so much indeed for your help. I really appreciate it. I'll catch up with you in about 10 minutes.